getting out there. Okay, fine. So this is a lazy Sunday morning. It's July the 16th. Okay, that's me. My name is D'Souza, Lancy Dsouza. Yes, I've been around in Toastmasters for a while. And it's good to pass on the skills and techniques to people all over the place because that's what servant leadership is. Whatever we learn, we pass it on to the next one. Okay, so can I have the next slide, please? And as I keep saying next, we can have the next slide. Okay, fine. Right, okay. Let me say that because it's an interactive one, I strongly believe that people will, voice whatever. I have an opinion. So anyone in the room, we've got Amit Shankar. Amit Shankar, please, can you do the honors of reading this out, please, for me? Thank you, and for the whole mandate that we have this morning.
Sure, I can. Communication leads
Yeah.
to the discovery of hidden abilities, broadens the person's conception of how to live with people. It brings out for us the leadership traits.
Yeah.
Lost the slide.
Yes, but I can see you. You've got a nice smile and you're all set to conquer the world. And there's your communication already with the smile. And the leadership comes in to say, yes, there is a glitch. You're doing a lot of damage control. But this happens on the
Yeah.
digital platform. So it's got its plus and minuses. We keep saying like, oh, everybody is on the internet and social media, etc. And when this comes in, often we say, oh man, I wish I was physically in a room because then I'm able to reconnect in the shortest possible time. So let's wait until. How's your day, Amit?
It's been a really good morning.
Okay, it's been a good morning. All right, fine. And you've already started on your pathway journey.
Yes, and looking forward to our Toastmasters meeting today. I'm going to be the Sergeant of Arms for the meeting today.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. Yeah, and as I said, you've already been saddled with that smile of yours, and you've set the tone for the meeting. Uh, that's how it then permeates throughout the entire. Yeah. Okay, so yes, go back and start reading this out. Okay, it brings out for us. Go ahead, please, Amit. Yeah.
Yeah, it brings out for us the leadership traits and abilities and thus helps to prepare the individual to be a leader.
Okay, so this, as we say, it's a copy and paste, and a lot of people understand in there and say, okay, I can read this. But whatever happens, however, the one thing that lies under all this thing, and we've got this Ralph Smedley uh, years and years ago, he said the best moments of learning are in times of enjoyment. And it was so profound, so prophetic. We've told people that Toastmasters International is not necessarily a fuddy-duddy organization because anybody thinks, and people, see them in ties and suits and say that, oh, that's a real stuffy little person. Absolutely. Because when the person starts speaking, that's where the communication and leadership smacks. And as people eating out of their hands and they say, wow, I mean, this is what it is. So this was started years and years ago. Let me tell you, in the room, all of us have got this talent. The one thing that is nurtured and comes out is learning the ropes through the Toastmasters International and pathways.
Did we lose DTM Lancy? It appears that we lost him. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, all right. So can I
welcome
have the
back.
next slide, please? Yes, okay. The show goes on. All right, the next slide.
Coming up,
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Okay, education in Toastmasters. Okay, fine. I believe the animation that we have done and is not working, but it's okay, fine. We can get in there. Education Toastmasters really runs deep, ladies and gentlemen. And if you land up on the portal, for example, there are not less than 817 around that many manuals, certificates, the whole works that you want to pick up. It's a huge gamut of emotions that you get in there. Next slide, please. Yes, next. Okay, as I've said, people relax. It's a Sunday afternoon. We learn in moments of enjoyment. And the next time you take this cue, whether it's at workplace or into your at home, everything boils down to this. And you will find that working to this is one of the ways of de-stressing as well. Okay, so let's get on to the next. Yes, why pathways learning experience? When I was introduced to this, and when it was switched over about like 5 years ago, I kept on saying, why would I have to go in from the conventional to the unconventional one? Right, it starts unraveling. Okay, next one, yes. Okay, all right. So we understand it's globalization. I believe we've got S. Jaishankar, the Union Minister for Foreign Affairs, and he's a particular person who's got the gift of the gab. When he speaks out here, you understand that he absolutely stands so large and tall for the Indian economy, for the Indian Parliament, the whole works in there on a globalization. We've got traits in Toastmasters to get to there where he has in there. All right. There's another thing called mobility, and today everybody is techno. Okay, it's tech savvy. Whether being tech savvy gets into the realm or the territory of social revolution is something that is merged, and that is where the competencies of the Toastmasters International pathway starts getting into you. All right, so we've got the big data, and of course, everybody knows that we are now on the internet. All right, okay, so we've come out from the museums and we're way, way back into the 22nd century. All right, okay. Next slide. All right, fine. So this was what we were saying is they have revitalized it, and there was a psyche deciding that they would get away from the old one and get onto the new one, which is the pathways. All right, next. Okay, fine. If people can read that in there. So it says high value, fun, flexible. Of course, it is competency based. Yes, resource. And then, of course, you've got a lot of evaluations. We always kept thinking, of course, Toastmasters International has been built on one of the finest tenets on the planet, and that's called evaluation, which is instant feedback in there. One of the things that you would find out as we get onto pathways is how it's worked and how it helps you understand why are we evaluating people and why is it necessarily that it's got to be meaningful? Because very often we walk in as an evaluator and we talk just about ourselves. The focus is basically on the speaker, and that's where the evaluation resource, as we come in on the slides, it tells you the word meaningful. People watch out for the word meaningful. That's the reason why workshops have a meaningful dialogue with everyone. Okay, let's get on to the next one. Okay, someone's interrupting in there, but I guess, okay, what is Pathways learning experience? Anything that is learned on the planet is an experience. All right, next one. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad. If you'll read the tagline, okay, it says you choose the experience. Precisely why it says you choose the experience is because it's a self-paced one, and you get to select what you want in life based on what you have assessed for yourself. All right, next one. Next. Okay. Can I have a volunteer? Okay, we've got Jyoti. Jyoti, would you read these 5 core competencies loud and clear and relish each one as you say that, please? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First competency is public speaking. Second is interpersonal communication. Third is strategic leadership. Fourth is management. And fifth is the confidence.
Okay, thanks, Jyoti. That was a really loud and clear voice. Okay, fine. Absolutely on the planet, we've got over maybe 700, 800, you've got competencies on the planet. Generally, when you look at it, these are the 5 that come in foremost, and a lot of it branch it out from there. So can I have the slide, please? Because then I'm able to monitor and speak with the slide. All right, people, please bear with me. This is, as I said, the umpteenth time. It's a digital world. You get glitches, and the finest in our dictionary is called damage control. So, are we having a bit of a problem on that?
Yes, let me forward this slide to Minal. Minal, can you share your screen?
Okay. Good morning, Minal. All right. So as it's being done in there, we saw that there were 5 core competencies. Okay, fine. For us, in the room, we all understand the first one primarily, which is called the public speaking, and all of us are into it. Interestingly, the second one, which is the interpersonal communication, it circumferences things like meetings, presentation, emails, texting, conversation with two people who exchange ideas. This has always stunned me. I have been for a whole lot of parties and even the intimate ones where we sit in there with 3 and 4 restaurant, and often we find out that because of the mobile in the hand and lost in the virtual world, forget it. Rather than making conversation and an interpersonal communication with the person sitting either on the left or the right, where you've invited or you've been invited, you'd rather reach out to every other person on the planet except the person on your left and right. And it's not only amusing, but sometimes the stark reality is like people have lost touch with communication, and especially when it comes to the interpersonal one. Precisely why Pathways gets you into that realm of adventure and life. Strategic leadership is the third competency. And for example, you would have in that delegate, encourage collaboration among departments. A lot of people with ego problems, oh, forget it. Collaboration and ego somehow is a two contrasts out there, So it takes a lot of it, gumption, and of course the guts to collaborate with people and say, I need to keep my ego right, and strategically place it in such a way that you're able to move forward and of course be a team player. The fourth one is management, the core, and that gets into the innovation. And most importantly, today in life, for all of us in the room, is goal setting. The fifth one, confidence. Would someone like to tell me what do you think is the meaning of confidence? People remember, volunteers, anyone that has got the guts to speak out at an assembly has always an edge in life. For me, I've always put my hand up and say, yes, I'm absolutely do not have any fears or such to be a volunteer. So someone in the room, can you tell me what you think is confidence?
I think hiding your fears and coming out is also, a sign of confidence.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, go ahead. Any other person would like to take a shot at it? Yeah. Once you're filling
Feeling
in
that,
this. Yeah.
the feeling that you are sure about your own abilities.
Yes, a feeling, yeah, because it's a personal one, correct? Yeah, let's take one more before the slide comes in. Yes, please, another one in the room. Go ahead.
Yeah, being able to voice your own opinion and being strong and assertive about it.
Okay, the word strong comes in, the word assertive comes in. It's an amalgamation of minds, the whole work comes in there, and of course, the mentality. The one thing that for us, it's think. I can instead of I can't. That's what confidence encompasses. Am I right? Does that sound good? People, does that sound okay? Think I can instead of I can't. Wow, that's where Pathways, that's where Toastmasters tells you by the time you do your 59 projects and you finish off your level, level 5, and you finished off one particular pathway, you've gone through the whole length and breadth of it. with that confidence, saying that I can, despite my work pressure, despite the house problems, despite personal things. So yes, the fifth one, the confidence is a whole bunch of snowballing, starting from public speaking, etc. All right, okay, go ahead. Next slide. And thank you, people, for voicing your opinions and being as volunteers. And as I've said, over 300 other competencies. Yeah. So how does it work? It's always on people's mind. Next slide. Yes. Okay. Interestingly, when Pathways first started a couple of years ago, there were only 10 specialized learning paths. Just 10. I'm going to read out the 10, and then you can tell me which was the 11th that, and retrospection, Toastmasters decided to introduce that as the 11th one. So you'll have to hone in your skills on listening to me and figure out which is the one that's been left behind. So the first 10 was the dynamic leadership, effective coaching, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation, mastery, strategic relationships, team collaboration, and the visionary communication. These were the 10 that was first started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, which is the 11th that was introduced at a later stage?
Engaging humor.
Wow.
Engaging humor.
Yeah, so I believe I hit pay dirt by saying engaging humor, because in retrospection, they realize that you go to the whole length and breadth of everything that smacks and tells you about being, communicating, and leadership skills. But the fun part of it is engaging humor, because today that is on the 11th one was introduced in retrospection. And a lot of people then decided to take it because making people laugh is the toughest job on the planet. Would you agree with me? It is. You can put it in the chat and you can tell me out in there, because I'll tell you there is a lot of it, and we have and at some point of time, we decide, that only when we laugh at ourselves, we are able to have people in the room respect us for all our vulnerability and say, oh man, the person acknowledges he's imperfect, but he's he's not perfect, but he's able to inspire people by dealing with his imperfections. And that comes in with a lot of engaging humor. So thank you very much. Okay, we've got 11 specialized ones in there. And as I said, when I started off, when a rookie or a newcomer first gets introduced, they keep thinking about something that sounds smart in the vocabulary. Maybe it's peer pressure, or somebody and says like, "What, man? You're taking innovative planning? No, you got to take strategic relationships. You got to take persuasive influences. These are the ones. I mean, seriously, by the time I assess my life and I think what suits me fine, I learn, because a lot of on this path, all the 11 do have a common thread. It's only when you have elective project. What are elective projects? The word elective has an objective in it, because it says you study a particular area of the curriculum in great depth. So generally, most of it runs in the same in all the 11. But as you graduate, because each of them has got 5 levels, so as you graduate to your 3rd level, 4th level, 5th level, you are doing projects that is similar to all the others. But the electives that given is you are studying that particular one. Say, for example, you took the visionary communication, then it goes one step higher, progressively into much techniques that you've used from icebreaker, the level 1, 2, and 3. And as you keep expanding, we find the metamorphosis in our life. So I tell people, and when they call me up and ask me, should I take something that sounds so profound, and everybody would be interested and say, hey, listen, I'm going to take motivational strategies. Oh, hang on a minute. Have you taken an assessment? I mean, seriously, do you think? No, I think, because it sounds so good and I can impress people. I really don't need to impress people by just saying that I've picked up something that sounds so fancy as motivational strategy. I am not helping myself, nor I'm helping anybody else in the room. And I'm definitely not flattering somebody else because they would say, like, are you really cut out for it? I believe that you're pretty good at innovative because you've got this innovation out in here. And you stand in and say, hey, of course, I'm good at it. So start off being honest, and that's where it comes in. And Toastmasters psyches you right at the word go and says, whoa, you look at all this fancy stuff in there, but before you get enamored and you want to impress the rest of the world, just get honest, do an internal introspection, do an assessment, and we'll tell you what you really cut out for. All right, let's have the next slide. Yeah. All right, so we speed up the slides. Okay, fine. All right, okay, go ahead. Yes, and the levels in the path. Fine. All right, so people, we've got 5 levels, right? Okay, I would like someone in the room to read out for me just the first ones: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. All right, somebody else? Any person in the room? I'm just trying to look out at names. We've got some great names in here, including Rahul Gandhi and the rest out there. So someone, please.
So level 1 is mastering fundamentals.
Yes, correct. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Level 2 is learning your style.
Yeah.
Level 3 is increasing knowledge.
Yep.
Level 4, building skills.
Yeah.
And level 5 is demonstrating expertise.
Right. Okay. Whom am I speaking to? Who's this person? I'm just trying to figure out.
Rajendra.
Rajendra, if you notice, and I'm sure a lot of people in this assembly today would notice, there is a progressive psyche towards it, right? It says you start first mastering your fundamentals. And then, of course, as I've said right at the very beginning, if that fits into your lifestyle and you think your adaptability as an individual, then that's where your level is in your path. Number 3, infusing knowledge. I believe knowledge is knowledge, and it's powerful only when it's passed around. And Toastmasters does that in every progression. It gives you increasing it knowledge. And as we get that knowledge, we start building up skills. And in that particular time, it says, okay, thank you very much. You've now got the skills. But I think it doesn't stop your path there. You're supposed to demonstrate to the rest of the world and the rest of the fraternity and your community. So you better start getting wise enough and demonstrate your expertise. That's the reason why we are helping you out in these levels 5. So as I've said, there is a psyche behind the gradual progression. And it's wonderful when we've seen the metamorphoses over the years that I've had seen people who've been an absolutely no-brainer when it starts in. They've got an accent, their grammar is sometimes way out in, and they've got their body language, everything in there. But as they start mastering and building up the skills, there are people who are on the street smart, using all the techniques of this Toastmasters pathways. And before you know, the number 5 confidence is the way that they demonstrate their expertise. And you are shocked and you're saying like, I mean, I've just seen you a couple of months ago and there's a lot in it in you. Whatever happened? Where did you spring in from? What have you been doing behind my back? What are we doing behind anybody's back is we're building up our skills. We're demonstrating our expertise. And people smell a mile far as a Toastmaster walks into a room. That's your pathway. Next slide, please. Okay, can we have the next slide? All right, people, I just want to ask you, are we on the same page? It'll be nice to hear replies. Are we on the same page at this point of time? That where is pathways leading us? Okay. Mastering the fundamentals, as I said, that there's a 5 process in there. So the first one is mastering the fundamentals. Okay, we'll skip through all this. Okay, but this is just to let you know that this is how it looks. Okay, the next slide. Yep. Okay. Icebreaker. So okay. So level 1, let's get back. Level 1. Okay. So in level 1, you've got three projects. We've got 5 levels. And in each level, there is a certain number of projects that need to be done to get to where you want to and qualify for your level and your completion of that pathway. The first one, the level 1, is mastering fundamentals. Naturally, it starts from ground zero level. It's an icebreaker. And then you're in evaluation and feedback, researching and presenting. So there you've got your 3 projects. Okay, the next one, we're coming up to level 2. All right, let's see how many projects that we have in here. As I've said, it's a gradual progression, learning your style. So let's get back in there. So you've got, what does it say? Required, which means it is a mandatory thing. All right, it's required. You've got to have a project 1, a project 2, and introducing to mentoring. So you've got another 3 projects in there. But see, seriously, and when you look at it, interestingly, undoubtedly, you would find out that the nicest thing about Toastmasters is they already start in level 2, learning your style, introduction to mentoring, because everybody in the room has the potential to be a mentor at some point of time. And so they start graduating you and coaching you into getting into that particular one and saying, I mean, that's where the retention of members come in, because eventually all of us tend to be mentors. And that's how you get people getting into Toastmasters fraternity as mentees, and then you get in. It's not that you're born to be a mentor, you pick up the ropes and the skills that is there. So in learning your style, one of them is mentoring, and it's an absolutely fabulous way of being a mentor. All right, next one. We'll get into that territory later on. The next slide isn't there. As I said, there were levels, 5 levels. We've come to level 3. It's a graduation. Now you're getting your knowledge. All right, you're picking up your knowledge along with it. You're being coached in there. So there is a required project is one. How many elective projects are there? There are 2 elective projects. So the elective project, as I said, and for the benefit of a lot of people who probably come in now, I'm going to repeat that again. An elective project has an absolute objective which says it is study in a particular area of the curriculum in greater depth. So whichever one that you've taken out of the 11 pathways that you have, elective project number 2 and number 2, again, that you have got 2 projects in there, graduates you into that territory of the pathway that you have now taken. The rest runs same through all the other 10 ones that we have in there. And then, of course, it tells you, okay, fine, that's not enough, but you also need to take up one of the roles. We've told people that just taking up projects is not the prerequisite for being a great Toastmaster. No way. You're doing it, but to be practical, okay? Because I'm just giving speeches and I could be doing that with a copy and paste and then coming in there and working to my way. But my test, my litmus test in the club is to stand up and take one of the roles. And any role that is taken up, even if it's something like the hour counter, works wonderfully because it is bordered absolutely within the realm of leadership and a communication and the leadership style. So hang on a minute, you're now graduating into something much deeper into the one that you've taken it. But whoa, hold on to your reins. You still need to be practical person, and you got to take up one of the roles. So I would like to see you how you operate as a table topic master. Are you creative? What about the Toastmaster of the day? Are you able to take the whole meeting in time and put it on time? Because that's how you work smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time. Time is of the essence. Are you timing yourself as a Toastmaster of the day? Are you working smart? So hang on, you can't just be taking only projects and speak about it. And as an evaluator, well, become an evaluator, because if you're going to be condescending to the speaker and talking about, oh, this was wrong and that was wrong, as much as that, you can also get that back in the same tone by another evaluator. So it tells you, go in, hang on to your horses and learn the ropes. All right, next, go ahead. Now it's 4, and we've got the 5th one. As I said, it's gradual. It's a smart way. Now you're building up. Building up my skills. So of course you've got a required project. And if you notice, again, there's an elective project. So the required project, as I said, still comes running. It's the regular one in all the other 10 pathways. The extra one is the elective project that now comes into your realm of the one that you picked it up. Okay, next one. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. And then demonstrating the expertise, because it says you've learned everything. You need to get back and you got to tell us, we need to see your performance now. We got to see what we've taught you something. So give us back. Tell us how have you done in there. We'd like to know as well in them. So again, you've got a required project and you've got the elective project. And the one that I love the last about this, the level 5 demonstrating expertise. Can we have this? Go ahead, please. Yeah. Yes. It's reflect on your path. That is a profound one. Can I have that slide, please? Because I would like to speak on that one. The reflect your path. This is generally a 10 to 12 minutes one in there. And this is, it tells you that, okay, you've gone to your entire level of 1, 2, 3, you're now building up, you've got your, and you've got your expertise. Can we hear you now? And you tell us, what have you learned? What was the expertise you picked up through that process of 2 months or 4 months or even 6 months? And it is. And let me tell you, reflecting your path is an eye-opener, where my character stands large as I speak about all the people who helped me get through that path. Because if I ever think that single-handedly I did that, I'm absolutely silly enough and probably disqualifying myself in a way, pretending that I can do everything on my own. Oh no, it doesn't work that way. It's all the others. And as we reflect on it, that's how we start thanking people. And one of the tenets in the service leadership in Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, is appreciation. The one thing that anybody on the planet loves to hear that, and we appreciate it. You need to do that, you and me. When we reflect in our path, we talk about people with a lot of humility. So people, you also learn how to humble yourselves. And as great speakers and great leaders, you will find them at some point of the time, they get down to basics. And as they reflect on their path, they humble themselves. So we are great leaders. And as you can see, we're already learning the ropes in the pathway when we finished off level 5. All right, next slide. So in a nutshell, okay, this is diagrams. Okay, fine. This is a little bit intense in here. But it is for what? I'm just trying to preempt people and saying that, okay, this is what you can do. And you can look up when you get onto the portal, you get a lot of information. Okay, let's get into the next one in there. Okay, yep. We're now trying to disseminate into, okay, so as I said, it's 59 projects. Now, the reason why we've had this particular slide, and this is one of, I had this from Dr. Shakil, and I particularly like this one, okay, because this substantiates the reason that if anybody thought that Toastmasters is basically English, it has graduated over the years because they've seen the power of people being trained in different other places on the planet. And so you've got it in English, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, Arabic. And I can vouch for you, and we've got Dr. Shakil in the room. When we were in Saudi Arabia, we had clubs, am I right, that started off in Urdu, correct? In regional languages, right? In Tamil. Yes, and now in Odisha, you would find it out there. So it's just telling you that Toastmasters reach it out everywhere. So the next time you hear someone in the room with a Marathi accent or an Odia accent, remember not to be caught into that trap and saying like, oh, this is not my person. This is just not up to me because he's got an accent and she's got an accent. We've lost the essence of that speech because that could be a brilliant speech the minute we knock off the cobwebs of our perceptions and prejudices and say, okay, this is how it is. Okay, next one, go ahead. Yeah. Yep. All right, okay. This is the project matrix, okay. As I've said, as I was keep talking out to you, most of the start required projects are like this. They run through all the 11. It's the elective one that starts graduating onto a deeper depth of the one that you've taken. Next one, okay, quick, yeah. Yeah, and we should be able to get this out. Okay, next slide, all right. I've explained this earlier, okay, fine, and we'll speed up a little. Let's go online, okay. So as we know, today it's online, all over that is on digital. Go ahead, yep. And for those who haven't actually been on the portal, I know there were a couple of rookies and newcomers who took up a project, Icebreaker, but they haven't even gone and surfed as to what it is. So the hardest part of any project is getting started. All right, next one, go ahead, yes. Yes, and this one which is there, getting started is a lot of people I know who've done projects but haven't even seen what the portal is or gone to see how the dynamics works in there. So we really need to enter pathways. Next, yes. Take the assessment. There's a reason why we got to take the assessment, and I clearly said that we think that I got to take something that sounds fancy like strategic management. Am I really cut out for it? That's where it is. Take your assessment and it selects a path for you and says, hey, good, yeah, you're good for this. This is part of it. It still covers communication. It still covers leadership. So don't be enamored by fancy names. All right, select a path. Go ahead. Next one. Let's move a bit fast. Yes, okay. So this is the portal. For those who are familiar, we know how it is. But those who aren't, you really need to get on to surfing out here. Okay, next one. Yep. Next slide. Yep. Go ahead. It's okay, fine. Yeah, because we've got the paucity of time and yeah, okay, fine. So this is how it looks. When you get onto the portal, this is how it says Pathways Learning Experience. And as you see, you got to log in as a member. That's highlighted. All right, go ahead. Next one. These are the steps telling you how you get into and then you start surfing it there. Okay, so this is where it comes next as you log in and it comes in. Okay, next. Yep. And it gets to my education transcript. It tells you, it prompts you and says, okay, this is your education transcript. Okay, what have you taken? Okay, next slide. Okay, what have you taken? All right, I have taken innovative planning. So there is a distinct Toastmaster. I get into innovative planning, which is the next one. Alongside on your right-hand side, it says open curriculum. I click on it. Okay, it's all self-paced and it tells you how to get onto it. And I think all of us know how, as we start surfing, we've got these little prompters with us. So it's your first one, okay? That's my level 1, and I'm starting absolutely as a rookie with my icebreaker, and so I launch it. It's prompting me. Nothing huge, not many challenges in there. And then it opens up to the icebreaker. And as you go, each project that you do, it gives you this. It tells you what you are doing. And it has a couple of slides in there. And as you go to the slides, it also tells you before you take up the project, you need to assess your skills. After you finish your project, you also need to assess your skills. So please, for those newcomers, remember, as you're surfing, there is a drop-down box. And as you go to the slides, it tells you first assess your skills before you finish the project and after you've done that in there. So that's your test as well. Okay, go ahead. Evaluations. And that the reason why anytime you take up a project, there is an evaluation resource which you need to download, which we download and we give it to our evaluator. So it is linked. Everything is self-taught, the contents in there, and you know what you are doing. Okay, next one. Okay, great. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. All right, okay. So we download this, and as a speaker, I then hand it over to the evaluation. Yeah. These days we get out of papers, etc. we're getting into paperless, so we just hang it and pass it on to our evaluator. All right. So when you give that the evaluation resource, the evaluator then judges and guides and tells you this is my marking. I believe in the vocal variety. You could have used your tone, speed, volume. So all this is self-explanatory once you start surfing into the realm of what it means to get into that. As I said, vocal variety, etc. Get into that mode and you're going to learn. Like all of us learn how to do a GPay or Paytm. This again is prompters. All right, next slide. Yeah, we've got just a few more slides in there, and then I have to hand this over. So you're completing your project, levels and words. Okay. How do we complete your project? Okay. So the member starts, complete a project, give a speech. Okay. All right. So when we said this, okay, say for example, I've done my icebreaker. I then reopen. As I said, there were slides. So I've assessed myself. And after I finish the project, I have to go back again and complete the assess skills after. Only after I do that, only then is my project completed, and then it's sent out for an approval, which will come in next. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Okay. Next. Next. Okay. So as I said, that's your drop-off box. And as you read out there, it says introduction, your assignment, assess your skills before, and then it goes down after you finish your assignment, your evaluation, it says assess your skills after. On completion, okay, the next slide will tell you what it means. Okay, go ahead, next slide. Yes, assess your skills after. Only after you finished, completed this, then technically your project is completed, your icebreaker. And then it says you have now completed, and then you need to send this out to the person concerned. Okay, that is when it comes in. Go ahead. This one, these projects don't require approvals. It's only when you finish off a level. So there are, yeah, level 1, 2, and 3. And as I said, in the first level, you've got 3 projects. After you've finished off that, only then it goes for an approval. So I've completed a level, okay? Run the level completion task. So I finished level 1. That was the 3 projects were there, the icebreaker, evaluation and feedback, researching and present. So I finished up. Maybe it took me 3 months or maybe it took me 2 months. Fair enough. When I go back again, it says I have now completed that, so I need to activate that. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Next one. Level 1 completion. Okay, I took motivational strategies in this case. I activated. I need to activate to say that I have finished my level 1. Activated. Go ahead. Yes. Next slide. Okay. Yes. And it says mark complete. So you see, it's not only self-paced, but it's all self-explanatory. Everything works in clockwork precision. Great. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Mark complete. Right. And as you said, then you notify your vice president and the base campaign. So there are 3 people that approve it, either the president, we've got the vice president education, or the secretary. All right, depending on if whoever's available. So this is where your base camp manager is and marks the members level as approved. All right, next one. Okay, so we're nearing now. I've got just a few more slides. Member can now proceed to the next level. So I've finished level 1. I've got my approval. I can get into, but please remember, unless you get your approval 1, you really can't graduate onto level 2, level 3, and 4. So go to the systematics, the dynamics of finishing of your project. Okay. Log in. Okay. Guess. Next one. Go ahead. Yeah. It's covering up. So I can't see on the Teams. Yeah. Or any other officer. Okay. Next one. Yep. All right. This is after you finish, and this we'll have Dr. Shaikh Shakil who will explain that you can do this after you finish up level 1 and 2. But this is a really interesting one, Pathways Mentor Program, that helps you go in parallel as you're finishing off your levels. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Next one. Yep. Okay. Recap. Okay. Fine. So I'd like a volunteer, please, to read this out for me. We've got Rachna. Rachna, okay, I've come down to A, B, C, D. So Rachna, are you there?
Both
Yes, yes.
sections.
Yes, I took
Prashna,
master answer.
okay. Yeah, yeah. And that's such a lovely voice. Okay, so read this out very clear. We're just recapping. Okay, go ahead.
Sure, sorry, I just joined, but I will read out what is
Okay,
mentioned.
fine, fine, fine. Go ahead. I hope you've had two cups of coffee. All right, so strengthen it. Go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
read it
sure.
slowly.
So the first one says key points about the Pathways program.
Yeah.
Each member must complete an assessment,
Yeah,
10 learning paths, 5 levels in
correct.
each path,
Now it's 11. Yeah,
59
okay. Yeah.
projects in total, 300 plus competencies covered. Each path starts with an icebreaker, incrementally challenging projects, and
As I
recognition at
said,
each level.
correct. As I said, incrementally challenging project, which means that you have elective projects, which is a study in depth as you start graduating. And that's from level 3, 4, and then on to 5. And yes, we've got 11 learning paths, as I said, with the introduction of the engaging humor. All right, Rachna, thank you so much. Okay, next one. Let's go ahead. I just have another 5 minutes. Go ahead. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to answer 5 questions. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Someone's, please mute yourself.
5:30.
Uh,
नहीं उतना
someone,
लंबा मत बोलो 5:30 to 6-7.
okay, fine. Okay, there are 5 questions. Very quickly, we'll run in there, and then I will hand this over to DTM Sheikh, Dr. Shaikh Shakil. Okay, go ahead. Quick. Can we have this? So, right, fine. Okay, I'm completely new to pathways and do not know how to choose a path. Okay, because of the paucity of time and we started late, I'll read this out. Generally, I've got volunteers to read it out with lovely voices, bass voices, and sopranos, etc. I'm completely new to pathways and do not know how to choose a path. The pathways assessment is available to all members who are on the traditional path and choose to continue the pathway education. New members, post-launch of the program, will have to undergo the pathways program. Completing the assessment takes 5 minutes and is required for selecting the first path. Maybe it could take even 10 minutes, not a problem. So if you think it's insufficient, maybe even 15 minutes, take your time. Members may take the assessment as many times as they like. However, the first time they take, it is generally the most accurate. I believe we've done performance matters even at work, and very often we start juggling in there and saying like, oh, maybe the first time I didn't really answer it, I'll take the second time. But traditionally, the psychoanalysis works out in such a way that the pattern remains almost 85 to 90%, no matter how many times you take that particular test or you're trying to get into it, because the links, the questions and the answers are linked gradually. It's progressive in there. The assessment will recommend one path and 2 others that might appeal to an individual member, but members are at their discretion to take the recommendations. All right, so this is how it is. Okay, I've got 4 more questions coming up and I'll answer them very quickly. Next one. All right, and thank you people for being patient enough in there, because this is part of the system. It's a refresher course. Even whilst I was doing it and I was working on this, it was refreshing me as well. Should I go to the assessment to choose a path? Interestingly, yes. Before starting the Pathways learning experience, members must take the Pathways assessment to find the path that is right for them. I'll repeat that, the right for them. Nobody, Taskmasters, is not undermining my ability when I take an assessment test. But the psychoanalysis, the psychometric test tells you, because there is a pattern. The assessment helps members identify the path that best meets their needs, interests, and goals. Remember that it's a 3-pronged one: needs, interests, and goals. Pathways is structured so that all members complete the assessment before selecting their first path. Members may select any subsequent path without retaking the assessment. So people, do not feel that you're being undermined just because the assessment says you need to take engaging humor or you need to take innovative planning, while deep down in your mind it was like, oh, I really need to take visionary communication. It's got a nice twist to it in there. No, as I said, it runs deep, and all the 11 pathways have got required projects similar. The elective is the one that tugs your heart and takes you to your territory, which is best suited for you. Often we get into the psychometric analysis. Next one, question number 3 coming up. All right, okay, go ahead, yes? Right? Next slide. I'm not tech savvy. Can my VP education do the assessment and choose a path for me? A club officer cannot complete the assessment for the member because it assesses the member's needs and goals. It's individually based. In such a case, the club officer can guide the member by logging into the Toastmasters website, using the assessment and purchasing the path. The key here is the guide. So please, it's an individual need based on that. Okay, next, the fourth and the last one that I have in there. Thank you. The fourth one, I have gone to the assessment and have chosen the path. I'm not satisfied with the recommendations. I said that, right in the very beginning, because it did not fit into my perception. Can I redo or pick any one of my own choice? Yes. You may take the reassessment or select a path on your own, but you still have to take the reassessment and select a path of your own. No problem. Go ahead. Whatever suits you out there, do not be discouraged. The last one, are there any materials or tools that explain how I can do my icebreaker? Yes. Toastmasters website has several resources. Oh, it's got incredible, as I said right at the very beginning. It gets in from number 1 till I think it is 89 or something, with over 800 and odd resources. And go to the pathways section in the Toastmasters website. Select Learn More. As I said, it's all self-explanatory. Sample your first project. Details for the icebreakers will be available here. Reach out to the club, VP Education. All club, VP Educations, you guys are in the room. You're the one most wanted in pathways. So rally support and pat people's back and say, hey, thank you very much for approaching me. I'm going to help you, guide you. It's a two-way traffic, people. Education for a speaking slot. If the clubs have members, request for one. You must carry a copy of the evaluation form. I said that it is mandatory. All right, okay. And last but not least, give it and make certain that you do your projects. With that, I'd like to finish. In conclusion, pathways is the one thing, people, we need to be curious because it keeps leading us down to new paths. Good luck, good cheer, good afternoon, people, for all the attendance and the way that you were able to respond in it. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here and pass on my skills and techniques to District 121. More power to District 121. And mind you, all of us in the room are already distinguished. Over to you.
1 to
Thank you.
25.
Thank you very much, DTM and Lancy. Yes, we at the District 125 have set our eyes and goals, set our eyes on our goal. That being said, thank you for such an interesting presentation. My apologies as the infrastructure was setting up and that caused a little bit delay. And that should be, I think, okay compared to what we can face. Now, that being said, we learned about pathways, how to get started. That's the key issue. Unless until we get started, Newton's first law makes sure that we remain stationary. Can anyone quickly recall Newton's first law? Anyone can recall first law? This turns into a science test.
When a body is in motion, unless and until an external force is applied, the body tends to be in the state of the motion.
Motion or rest.
Yes.
So inertia plays a really big way in our life. We continue to do what we are doing unless until someone comes and tells us. Today, that opportunity is upon us, and our next speaker is going to give that nudge to get us enrolled into level 1 and level 2, the very foundational 2 levels of any pathway. My target speaker, did I went into evaluation mode? Yes, I did. My next presenter or our next presenter is someone who is a general physician by profession, but someone who joined Toastmaster to understand the nuances of time management. Someone who has been area director, area governor, division director, club growth director, and our current program quality director. With a thunderous round of applause, please welcome Dr. Shaikh Shakil Anjum.
Thank you, sir. May I request all the members that it is very difficult if I say or anybody says that he knows the pathways from the beginning to the end. Pathways is the new syllabus which we are going under and taking it up. And every now and then there is a revision. So I will just try to spend few minutes on the how we deal with the pathways in our individual ways, and then I will come to the topic proper. Because since distinguished Toastmaster Lancy Dsouza has left it here, I thought better this is the time when I can just add few minutes. There is a possibility that we may take few more minutes to end. So I would just like your cooperation to be with us. So let me share this slide with you. And I would like to understand, hopefully, out of these 20 plus members who are attending, they must have gone through this screen earlier in their own while they are doing their pathways, except for those people who are just new and who have just started the pathway. So they may have not seen this screen. So can you, because I cannot see anybody, can you just tell me, first of all, can you hear me clearly? Can you see my screen? And have you, anybody who, how many people who have not seen this type of a screen individually in their own way? So can anybody count the hands who have not seen or who have not gone to this page? So I can understand how many people have seen it out of these 20 plus members who are attending. So I hope you have, most of you must have seen this. In case if you have not seen this, we can have those type of training to such people who have not seen it and who want to start with the basic. Now, if you see here, this is the 3 dots. Can everybody see these 3 dots? And in case if you just click it, you will have the add external training. Any person who want to give his or her speech in some other club, they can go and open this external training and they can write the detail of which club and which project they are going to give it in which club and which day. And automatically this things will be stored that you have given this club and the approval will be given by your VP education, right? So this is how it has to be done. Now, secondly, if you see this, there is my account and log out. If you just click my account, then what you will see? You will see your whatever you have done, accountan's role, which date you have done, general evaluator's role, grammarian role. You have to do all these roles because role playing is very important. And after you have done this, completed this, you save it and then you remove it and then you again start from the beginning. Have you done this? Have you have this type of records in your online where the Toastmasters International can see how many roles you are doing? Because previously we used to have a manual of CL, but nowadays you have this account wherein you have to do the role on a particular date. I hope this information many people must be knowing, but just to go and give you this information so that in case if anybody is not knowing, they can know this information. Now, if you see e-portfolio, can you see this? If you click this, what you will have another window opening and here is your documents and your badges. How many documents? Documents means your evaluation sheet. Whenever there is an evaluation done by an evaluator, do you receive, before you receive, do you pass on the evaluation sheet to your evaluator? Do you pass on your evaluation sheet to your VP education? On the same day, a evaluator should write the evaluation sheet, fill it up and send it back to you. Or if your address is not known, then send it back to the VP Education. And do you receive within 24 hours your evaluation sheet from your evaluator? In case if you have received, this is the place you have to store. Just click this and you will see what it is. You will see level 1, you will see level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 and my documents. This my documents will have anything extra like DTM project or any project and it will be stored here. If you see level 1, I have stored about 38 files. That means I am now doing my 7th pathway. If you see level 2, I have stored here 27 evaluation sheets. Level 3, 26, level 4, 23, level 5, 53, and so forth and so on. So this is an important thing, and this will not only help you to go back and read, but this can be easily read by the Toastmasters International. Okay, so I hope you understand what I want to tell you. So these are few of the things. Now coming to your pathway. Open the curriculum. If you just click it here. Yes, sir. If you want to ask any question, please call. Let me know. Yes.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, this is Harsha, and I have query related to that our counter roles, whatever we are taking. So, because
Okay,
those
sir.
roles, we need to how to fill that one, because currently what we are doing is we are manually noting down all the roles.
Okay. I'll just see whatever role is there, definitely it occurs on the agenda, right? As far as this thing is concerned. If you are here, for example, sorry, I have gone to external learning.
Because
it is not very difficult. Yeah, I will tell you. Don't worry. I will tell you, explain to you, because I just wanted to tell you because majority of the people are not knowing this. See, now our counter rule. Okay, suppose you just go for the date. Particular date you have done it, put it there, and then it will come here. And if you want to remove it, you just clear it out. Okay, this is so simple. Okay, yeah, but this is just a thing which is a record for you. If you even forget, you don't find the place hard sheet or anything, you will still find it here. Okay, and then everything is completed. Yeah, you want to ask something more?
Sorry, sir. My question is because every week we will be every week we are having it. So then in that case, every week automatically that will be shown, because now it was showing empty. I selected it, yes. But again, next week we will have meeting. Again, suppose I am taking.
It will be there until you fill up all the roles, and then you click the save. So this will be recorded, and then you can clear everything.
Okay.
Start from the beginning.
Okay, for each.
Okay. Yeah. I cannot hear you, sir.
The rules, whatever we are displaying. Okay, my question is, suppose we are having one weekly meeting. Okay, in that case, the rules, whatever are getting displayed, those are really played by me, not by the entire team, right? So the rules, whatever
it is only your record, sir. It is only your record.
Exactly.
And this will be a reminder for you what next role you will play and what next role, so that you complete the entire chart. Okay. Okay, now coming to the curriculum, because time is short. You may ask me the question. Yeah. Anybody who want to ask while I'm doing this, you can ask me here. While then I will try to go to the main topic. Because majority, I feel they are not knowing this procedure, and that is why they are feeling it is very difficult. Level 1, if I am taking today level 1 and 2. So if you open this, from here what you understand is the person has done icebreaker. The person has done the second project, that is writing a speech with a purpose. The person has done the introduction. The person has completed evaluation and feedback. And lastly, as distinguished Toastmaster said, that you have to do the level 1 completion, wherein you require an approval. Okay. Now coming to this icebreaker, as you move further, it will be, now you say completed 5, minimum required 5, total item 5. So this, if you go from right to left, that means you have completed this entirely. And once you complete this, initially it will come mark completed, and when the VP education or the base camp manager approves it, your certificate will come in this box, and you can download this, send it to your VP education, so that the VP education on behalf of you will inform the entire club, and their accolade will be given, and you will be really appreciated, and this you will be motivating some other member too. Now if you see, this is a project, writing a speech with a purpose. You go through this project and you will feel that there are so many things which you have to do. The moment you start to read the manual, your timing will be noted down, and that timing is called as the training timing. That timing will call as the training timing. Unless and until you have read the manual, the training timing will not be able to move forward. So for the first page, then there is a play. Play means you will have the second, you have a video. So you have to see that you see the video. There are certain places where the videos are repeated, so no need to wait for that. Then the third place, again, you go here, you complete this, read each and everything. That is what the manual is all about. Introduction, read it, come to the next page, and you will have the project checklist. If you want, you can download it here, or it will come again in the last few pages. Then you go this here, assess your skill before. This is very important. Read the question, and you feel if you are 1, 2, 3, 4, you do it. Assess the, then there are few of the questions where they're completed, because here there are few questions which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and ultimately you do it, and then you go to the next page. Here also you just read it, and if there is any questions to be answered, do it. Again, everything has to be read, and further you go. Here is again, there are few of the things which you have to read it, and this thing you have to go next and read it. These are important because topical and different things are there which you have to read it, because why? The quiz comes, follow this immediately. And if you don't know about this entirely in the previous page, you will not be able to answer the quiz here. This is a quiz which every person who is going through this have to answer it. If this is not answered completely, your project may not be approved. And that is why some of the reasons why the VP education gets a problem, or because they have not completely read the manual or not completely attempted each and every page of the manual. So this is 7 questions are there, and you have to choose one answer and proceed further. Similarly, here you can download it here, or you can proceed and you may download in the coming writing a speech, select a topic. All these things will have to be done without fail each and every page. Here again you have 4 questions, you just forward it and you will read it, and all this thing will come. Going to the next page, you have to write a speech. How you will write? You have to have preparation, timings, all these things will come. There is something like best speakers series, and all this thing is covered in those things, and we will be covering that in one of our training program also. Okay, so just follow and try to spread the word that these training program, monthly training program, which has been undertaken and especially made for the new members and for the veteran to understand how every speech should be written and how quality can be attained in the club. So now the next thing will be about, again, few writing your speech. There are few choices where you have to see how you will go next and read it, go next and read it and go next. Ultimately you finish this thing, and now you come to your writing a speech. You have to press every button. You will know what are the stages of writing a speech, and this is how every step of how to write an effective speech has been given here, especially some manuals which has been added or which has been revised in the later part. This thing was not covered in the slides or PowerPoints preparation, which my mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Lancy, has shown you just now. So for that reason, I have just to conclude that there should be no confusion, because pathway is so vast that every now and then there is a revision. Now, know your purpose: to inform, to persuade, entertain, and inspire. These are few of the things which you have to know, because there are the 4 types of speeches are there. We will come to know in one of the training program in the future. So please see that you attend religiously once a month. We are to start with, and we are not taxing too much, and we will try to give you the basic thing. You have every right to ask questions, even if you are not available or you don't understand in this session. You may ask personally, write to me, and I will give you the answer. Okay, so similarly, after this you proceed further. The same thing, you have to go each thing, press every button, read it, because this is the only way you can increase your knowledge. And if you don't read this, you are missing what the Toastmaster International want to provide to you. Okay, dear. So this is again the project checklist. As I told you that this will come, you can download it, and with every project make a file of this, download separately. Evaluations, you know this, I think, because you are sending the evaluation sheet also. After this, you can just go further, and then this is the pathways, which is completely, and ultimately it is coming back again. So now if you go back for this, after this you complete, there will be the percentage of 17% of the pathway which is completed, and 100% of the level which you have completed. Then you go proceed for the next level. So this is in short. I don't want to elaborate more on this because I will be wasting time here. So now let me tell you that we have to proceed to the next thing, which is our level 1 and level 2. So here is what I would like you to kindly pay attention, so that we can you see this second Excel sheet? Okay, because I cannot see anyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Sir.
So you see, yes, sir. You see the first level have only first project icebreaker. Second project is writing a speech with a purpose. Third project is vocal variety and body gestures. Because this may change, but icebreaker will remain there, and most of the evaluation and feedback will also remain. A couple of things may change. That is not a difficult situation. Now coming to the fourth project, we have third project as vocal variety and body gestures. Fourth project is evaluation and feedback is speech number 1, evaluation and feedback is speech number 2, and speech evaluation. So totally there are 4 projects. Earlier it was only 3, but now it has been revised and it is 4. If you see from this first level, there are 6 times you have to take the role. 6 roles you have to take when you will complete level 1. First role will be the icebreaker speaker. Second will be the speaker number 2. To a second speech will be writing a speech with a purpose. Third will be either it could be a vocal variety, or it could be a body gesture, or it could be both. That is the third project. Fourth project is divided into 3 parts. Evaluation and feedback is speech number 1. What you will do, you will select a topic, you will give a speech. Ultimately, when you give the speech, your evaluator, his suggestion for improvement is the base of your speech number 2. I hope you understand. I repeat again. Evaluation and feedback is speech number 1. You prepare with a topic, you give to your audience. The evaluator which you will get, his suggestion of improvement or his recommendation or her recommendation is more important, because on that recommendation speech number 2 will be based. Is there any confusion? No. This is what I understand. Speech number 2, now either you can give the same speech implementing the suggestion, or you can prepare an entirely new speech, keeping in mind the suggestion. For example, I am the speaker, and if my evaluator has said, your vocal variety is not perfect, try to work on your vocal variety. And if suppose my speech doesn't have the scope of vocal variety, then I can prepare a next speech, speech number 2, with in my mind keeping that I should have a scope for vocal variety. You understand? If my speaker says that you have to trim your speech because you have gone over time, that was the only suggestion, then what I can do is I can repeat the same speech. I try to trim it, I try to lower the word count, and then again practice and give the same speech with the same title. So speech number 2 and speech number 1 could be the same, or speech number 1 and speech number 2 could be 2 different speeches. Hope I made myself very clear. The third part of this project is the speech evaluation. That means you have to evaluate somebody, and this is very important. So never shy away or never have the fear to evaluate somebody. Evaluation itself is one of the workshop, and one of these days in the future you will be having evaluation too. Now coming to the timing of these speeches. If you see, there is the first speech is 4 to 6 minutes, and the last part, that the speech evaluation, is 2 to 3 minutes. Otherwise, all the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. In the last session, one of the new member, she gave the icebreaker. What she did is, when she passed the evaluation sheet of the icebreaker, in the evaluation sheet, it was written 5 to 7 minutes, while the manual mentioned it 4 to 6 minutes. So this could be a discrepancy between the evaluation sheet and the manual. But we have to see what is the tradition. It is 4 to 6 minutes. So we can say that the manual evaluation sheet, the printed or the mentioned timing is wrong. So always remember, whenever there is certain discrepancy, you will only come to know provided you have read your manual. In case if you have not read the manual, it goes to prove that the person who is giving the speech and asking that the speech is from 5 to 6, 7 minutes and demand that she is qualified, we cannot reject unless and until the mentor is consulted, or the mentor guides, and that is why very important thing is the role of a mentor. So this is, we have to see, there are certain things where we will get confusion and we will get different opinion as we go through the pathways. Now coming to the second level. So are you comfortable with the first level? One thing is there, you have to have 6 sessions, your active involvement. You know what you mean by active involvement is you have to come forward, being proactive and take up the role. But before being a speaker, see that you read the manual, you take help of your mentor, and then you take the slot. And when you take the slot, give your best shot. Because if you imagine yourself that you are standing on a stage where the world is seeing you, and that is the only chance you have to either go further or go back. And that is why you have to give your 100% while you stand with your relaxed mind, face smiling, deep breath, remove your fear and give your 100%. 6 session you have to, and you will get level 1. Level 1 is very important because if you see, you need your involvement in active involvement in 6 sessions. Now coming to the second level. Second level, we will have one project on communication. If not communication, then know your leadership style, communication style, and any one of these. Then there could be again effective body language or vocal variety, provided this is not there in the first level, some other thing is there, then this will come here. Or if body gestures is there in the first level, then possibility vocal variety will come in the second level. But remember, the third speech is the same. As we have icebreaker and evaluation and feedback the same, here also introduction to Toastmaster mentoring remains common to all the pathways. Why so? Because mentoring is very important in Toastmasters. If you want to progress, you should have a mentor. If you want to progress, you should have a protege. That means you try to mentor somebody. And that is why you get more matured and you grow along with your mentor and mentee. So this is very important. So first level, you have different timings. Second level, there is only 3 projects, 5 to 7, all common timings. Now, if you see these 2 levels, which I have shown you, have the similar titles throughout all the 11 pathways, and all are required project. They are called as a required project. Why required? Because whatever is there, you have to do it. Now let me come to a point wherein you want to choose a pathway. And that is very important. Why you have to know what is required project and what is the importance of required project. That means you have to do it. There is no choice. So when you choose a pathway, see and concentrate on the required pathway, required project. If you feel the required project needs more hard work, going to places, doing some things wherein, because as we go further, level 3, level 4 and level 5, there are projects wherein you have to put in more hours. You have to do, maybe at times you have to have more finance to do those projects. So that is why very important that you choose your pathways on the required projects, not on the elective projects. Everybody, have I made myself very clear how to choose a pathway?
Doctor,
Is there any confusion,
question.
sir?
May I?
Yeah.
May I take a question?
Yeah.
May I take a question?
Yes,
Doctor?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, my first question. There are 2 questions. The first question is on the level 1. Level 1, we are saying that we will have going forward. We will have 6 projects to be delivered in all.
Yeah.
In which the last project says the evaluation, which we are all aware. Now the question is here is
like that. It is not. Yeah, I just wanted to clear here, my friend. What's your good name?
Muralidhar More.
What is your name? Okay, Mr. Toastmaster More. I just wanted to clear this. They are not 6 projects. They are only 4 projects. And the 4th project have 3 sub projects. You can say like that. Now coming to the evaluation, you can have evaluation anytime earlier also, but evaluation is a must. That is the only thing. Don't go that after you complete your 2 speeches, then only you have, even if you are in the 4th project, you can start with evaluation. It is. So don't worry. But you go from icebreaker to the 2nd project to the 3rd project and go to the 4th project. Yeah, that is correct. But then in the 4th project, A, B, C, you can say, or speech 1, speech 2 and evaluation. So evaluation you can have between 1st and 2nd, or before 1st or after 2nd. So there is no problem. There is no sequence for evaluation as such. You got my point? Yeah. Now, if I made myself clear, can I just ask anybody who want to ask anything at this point of junction, because we are just 12 o'clock and 6 minutes. So I don't want to take some other part. Just I wanted to take few questions, maybe another few minutes, and then we can say about something about our future programs for in a couple of minutes, and then we'll close down because I don't want to tax more to our members. Anyone who wants to know? Yes,
so
sir.
Dr. Sheikh, that evaluation can be in any sequence, but that evaluation has to be evaluated, right? Somebody else should tell us how did we evaluate.
See, one very good question. Evaluation also have a evaluation sheet. Very important. That evaluator, see, normal evaluation and this project of evaluation is slightly different. Normal evaluator, the general evaluator may evaluate at the end, and he evaluates everybody, including the evaluator. But for the project, there is an evaluation sheet. There is an evaluation sheet. So it is our duty that we request the general evaluator of that particular session, because instead of having somebody else to evaluate you as an evaluator, the best thing will be make it as a tradition that who will be the general evaluator, though he is speaking and giving his evaluation report to the session at the end of the session, he should just add and fill up the evaluation sheet of the evaluator. Am I clear, sir? Dinesh sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Perfect. That's the point I wanted.
So,
yeah.
And no, it is very, thank you for the question, because this is which I have missed and which everybody, intelligent people in the audience help us to make it clear. So it is very important. I hope every member must understand evaluation, doing evaluation in a normal way. The evaluator just give his report and include your evaluation in it. Okay. But in the, when you are because, you know, as I said, every evaluation sheet should go into the portfolio. So here also your evaluator, as an evaluator, your evaluation sheet has to be added, and this will be added in level 1, and this will be added in level 1, right? Am I clear? Is there any confusion? Please ask me, because in Toastmaster, there is no point to be confused on any step or any topic. It has to be very clear. Okay. So anybody want to ask a question, please ask.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
will be taking this in some other time in the future, because I don't have this thing, and I will show you how speech writing can be so easy and so good. Okay. So, okay, no problem. Yes, please ask. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So question is, sir, the way you are telling that for level evaluation stage, we need to give speech 1 and speech 2. So for those two speeches, so do we have evaluation forms also in the portal? The way we have for icebreaker and other vocal variety and all,
No.
we have evaluation forms.
Let me again repeat. Speech project 1 is the icebreaker of level 1. There is no other thing. There is an evaluation done. Keep it. This project number 2 may differ, but I said that this project number 1 is always an icebreaker, and project number 4 will always be evaluation and feedback. In between these two, some other project may come in. What I have written to you or shown to you is the project which I had. Write a speech with a purpose. And second is write a speech exhibiting your body language or your vocal variety. So that is project number 2 and project. This is simple, one speech, one evaluation, keep it in a story. Now coming to the 4th project, it is evaluation and feedback. That means you do your speech number 1, you get it evaluated, and then how to improve upon it. This give you an experience. This will be an experience for you at the level 1, wherein you can always, if you want to repeat, see, if you have given this speech, but there are two things. One is your evaluator says, okay, you're satisfied. But previously in our olden days, the evaluator used to say, please repeat the speech. Please repeat the speech. And that is why this 2-tier this thing has been introduced. So no need. And in case if you feel, if I have repeated many speeches which was passed by the evaluator, but I was not satisfied. So this is different. I took it and take it on a evaluation, take a photocopy and take an evaluation and just put it in my, those days we have the hard copies of CC. So I used to keep it. So this is only for yours, but now it has become a project of speech 1 and speech 2. Speech 1, if there is anything from the evaluator, put it there and then implement it. In case if you can implement in the same speech with the same title, good. If cannot, then you have a choice to have a new speech. So you have choice. You can repeat the old speech with the implementation of the evaluator suggestion, or you can go for the new speech and keeping in mind what the suggestion and implement it while you are doing your second new speech. This is, but let me tell you, there are not 6 projects, there are only 4 projects. I wanted to emphasize there will be 6 sessions where your active involvement is required to complete level 1. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Anybody
Sir.
else wants? Yeah.
Sir, sorry to, one clarification. So what my question was, for icebreaker speech, we have the standard form of evaluation. We will print it out and get it evaluated from the evaluator. Similarly, for the vocal variety, we print that evaluation form and get it evaluated from the evaluator. And then my question is, when it comes to that project for evaluation, you are telling that we need to go for 2 more speeches. But while I'm delivering speech 1, so do you have the template for evaluation for that also in the portal? The way we have for icebreaker and vocal
That is
variety.
why.
Okay.
It is why
Okay.
you just read your manual. Speech evaluation, speech 1 evaluation, speech 2 evaluation, and evaluation for the evaluator. Everything is there. Provided you just go and read the manual. This is very important. Every manual you have the complete things. Okay. Yeah. Anybody want, because time is 12:15. It is going to be 12:15. So it is not fair on my part to continue more. But in case if anybody has the quest, please don't hesitate to write to me and we can arrange. Now the next session will be in the mid of August, wherein DTM Lancy Dsouza will be there, and he will be taking the major will be how to have the contest, humorous as well as evaluation workshop will be there with some additional attraction. So, and the main person who will be distinguished Toastmaster Lancy Dsouza, our district training chair, our manager. Thank you. With this, I would like to hand over to our own club group director, Sushil Pawar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shaikh Shakil, for your enthusiastic and detailed introduction to level 1 and level 2. As I said earlier, now we are all set to overcome the inertia and start our journey to level 1 and level 2. Now, at this point of time, I will request everyone to switch on their cameras so that we can take a quick group photo.
Sir, I ensured today camera is there.
Great. Thank you, Murlidhar, Akanksha, Minal, Arun, Nish, Gunshekhar, Harsha, Kishore, Pradeep, Prajakta, Rachna, Ranjit, Sangeeta, Saurav, Subhash Chandra, Rajendra, and Santosh. Great. Thank you for switching on your cameras. Now, me just, fit to frame for a few of the individuals. If you are using mobile, it is recommended to use the landscape mode than the portrait ones. And while doing so, you need to switch on rotations also for mobile. Okay, great. With that, please look into your camera and say number 1.
Number 1.
Thank you. Let's take one more pose. The view, large gallery. Yep. Hold your beautiful smile for another minute. Again, point number one.
Number one.
So, now I'd like to hear feedback from the participants. What was the session? How did you like it? Anyone would like to share it? What frequency we should have this kind of session? What? Okay, Rajendra, please go ahead. Rajendra, you are on mute.
Yeah, thank you. I think it was a very insightful session. Many of the things were unknown to me at least. And I think I have to really go through once again, talk to my VP Education, Murli, and understand the process in detail. So thank you very much for taking us through. At least we know that there is a gold mine inside which we do not know. So let me go through the site once again and understand much more. We should have at least once in a month this program. So lot of updates we get from all of you, and I think we can implement that into our club and also educate our new members over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajendra. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can share
Yes,
Toastmasters.
Rachna.
So again, 2 days have been very amazing. Well, it was a weekend, but thank you so much that you took out so much of time to invest in doing the knowledge sharing. The other good part I liked was that I am pretty new to the club, and it was good to see members from other clubs. So you suddenly feel you're part of a larger community, and you now, for example, I know you, I know Dr. Sheikh. So that experience brings more connectivity to the concept of Toastmasters itself. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much.
Okay, Murlidhar.
I think it was a good, insightful knowledge sharing from last 2 days, especially from Dr. Shakil sir, Lancy sir, and Sushil sir. Yesterday's session, we really thoroughly enjoyed it. You kept the nerves on, and the new things that Toastmasters has done it. So you all three were bang on to it, and we would like to continue this journey every month, as my colleague said it just before some time. So thank you so much for your time and the knowledge sharing. Thank you so much.
Just a small request on that, one Maria, just a small request on that. The very fact that you asserted and you said and established it, it would be nice that this information is passed on to your club members. Likewise, everybody who's in the room passes on, because remember that you all are testimony to this. And when you pass this information, it has got greater weightage. And we would like to rope in more numbers. After all, it is for the entire district. Precisely, yeah.
Absolutely.
My request to all members is please convey this to your club members and say ask them to attend, because they may be wanting to ask something. They may have some particular things which they want to ask. So that will be beneficial for us. We are also learning. So when many people are there, many questions are there, it is an eye opener for us also. Okay.
Sir, can we share a link, if we have the recorded version of it, so that, the club members who missed it, they can refresh?
The recordings will be shared, and we also encourage clubs, area divisions to run similar events and similar trainings for a smaller gathering. Now, that being said, Prajakta, you like to say a few words?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. for the opportunity. Actually, yesterday I couldn't attend this session. Today I'm attending this session for the first time. And last week I joined this club, and I had so many questions in mind, like what are the pathways, and how could I start with icebreaker and all the questions. But I'm glad that I joined today's session, and I got so many doubts cleared. And one more doubt was there, that the Toastmaster Club was meant for corporate people, but I can see the doctors and all the members from other domain also joining the club, and they are very they are improving themselves. It was very informative session for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome, Prajakta. Indeed, Toastmaster is a place for everyone to enhance their communication and leadership skills. Saurabh.
Hi, hi Toastmaster. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. I want to thank Toastmaster Lancy and Toastmaster Dr. Anjum. I think it was very informative. This is my third session actually. I just joined day before yesterday, so I could not attend yesterday's session. I just missed because of communication. I didn't know about it, but I think a lot of questions and what kind of path I have to take. I think the questions were there. That was answered because of the process and what should I do, how the assessments are there, and so evaluations, how important they are, what are the steps. I think this all process got clear to me because of this today's session. So I'm thankful to all of this, Toastmaster Lancy and Toastmaster Dr. Anjum. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Saurabh, for sharing your feedback. This gives positive reinforcement to our presenters and that act as a fodder for them to contribute more to our
So
district.
Saurabh, you'll have to charm your members, right, in your club. And of
Sure,
course,
sure,
the other
definitely.
clubs, and tell them that, wow, this is so much of knowledge. Man,
Right.
it's enough for Sunday. We'll wait for another Sunday and Saturday in the
Sure,
near
definitely. I
future.
will convey them. Yes.
Eventually, it's you guys. You all have to pass it on a one-to-one basis.
Right, right. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anyone else who would like to share their view, feedback, comment, questions, anything for us?
Or on any topic you want us to come with any topic in detail, so you can also share that also. In case you want in the future any particular topic, we will prepare and we will be there to see that it will be. Yeah, Prajakta, please continue.
Yeah, actually, the topic you shared in the last, like how to write a better speech. So I would love to attend those sessions.
How to write a speech. Okay.
I think we have covered level 1 and 2. Maybe future levels and elective projects could be another series. Yes, DTM Lancy.
Yeah, we'll take them all to another level altogether. Not to worry. We've in fact at the last TLTP we had asked a whole section of people to send out an email to us, to the training department, and give suggestions, because it can validate a lot of generic trainings that would help. Like today's one is a treasure of information. I'm sure everybody would agree, correct? Right? Okay. Yes. So based on that, please feel free to contact the training department.
Okay. On that note, we have a couple of more hand raised. Prajakta, you want to add anything else to what you just said? No. Okay. Rajendra. No worries. Let me lower your hand. Rajendra, you want to add? No. Okay, perfect. So if there are no questions, comment, we can call this as a meeting, a successful one, where each and every one of us learned something new today. So thank you again for joining. I wish you a great Sunday ahead. Bye.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thanks a lot.
Arun, you are okay. Arun, you are saying something? Gone. Okay.
No,
Yes,
no,
Arun, tell me.
no, DTM Sushil, thank you so much. I just want to say some reaction, but I press that raise button.